Daniela has a very hard-hitting question for you. She wants to know why she was lotteried out of happiness. She wants to know, was it to eliminate the problems associated with too much choice of class, so it in fact led her to happiness?
Well, she wasn't really lotteried out. What happened is that she didn't offer me as much money to get in as the students that I admitted. The whole lottery thing is a scam. It was basically an auction, which would make all of the economists at Swarthmore extremely happy. In case anyone thinks I actually mean that's a joke. I don't know why she was lotteried out. Just unlucky, or lucky. Ask the people who are in it. It may be the best thing that ever happened to her. But it wasn't, it didn't really appreciably reduce the number of choices she had. You reduce the number of choices from an infinite number to an infinite number minus one. I don't think that helps much.
She's trying to look on the bright side here.
All right, you're much, much happier having a slightly smaller choice set than you would have been otherwise.
All right, I'll
Danielle,
let her know.
I did you a favor.
Okay. What is the biggest failure of a course that you've ever taught?
That's an interesting story. And it was in my second year of teaching, a long time ago. I was teaching a course in motivation. And so I decided, why not let the course be a laboratory? So on the first day of class, this is a true story, I held up the grade sheet, and everybody who had signed up for the class had a B. And I said, this is your grade in the course. If you take the course, you're getting a B. If you drop it, you drop it. There's going to be a reading assignment every week, there's going to be a midterm, there's going to be a final, and there's going to be a paper. And they're all required, and they will all be graded, but your grade in the course is B. So there's no reason for you to do any work in this course except because you're interested in it.
How'd that go?
So a hand goes up, and the question, the perfect Swarthmore question, why not an A? I dismissed that one. Then another hand went up, the star of the basketball team, and he said, do you mean it? And I said, absolutely. And he got up, he walked to the front of the room, shook my hand, said thank you very much, left, and I never saw him again. But then, here's the interesting thing. The students in the class really worked hard. They came, they did the reading, and the discussion in the class was informed and enlightening. And I was just sort of thrilled and vindicated in the high opinion that I had of Swarthmore students. And then midterm week came. And what happened was almost everybody neglected the work in the course so that they could devote their time to other courses that they were going to have to take exams in. Perfectly reasonable. But now they felt guilty because they had let me down or they'd let themselves down. And so a process began where every week there'd be more students not coming. And by the end of the semester, the sort of morale of the class had completely deteriorated. And I don't know, 10 maybe out of 40 students were still coming, and I got 2 term papers. So it was an abysmal failure. Although, I'm glad I did the experiment. I realized in retrospect that it was incredibly unfair to the students. It was crazy to imagine that having worked for grades for their entire educational lives, they could snap their fingers and work in the same disciplined way with no consequences attached except for their own education. So I think they learned a lesson about themselves that they shouldn't have learned, and it was an unfair thing for me to do to them, but it was an abysmal failure. That's probably not the answer you were expecting, but that is it's almost 40 years ago, and it's like it was yesterday.
Okay, at least you've got a story.
I do have a story. And if they could fire me retroactively for teaching a course that way, they probably would.